If you didn't go to the ER after a car accident, you could still be owed a huge check. No, seriously, I didn't go to the ER and still got paid $82,000, and all I had to do was qualify. Most people think visible injuries and car damage are what determine how much you can be paid. I thought the same thing, but I had silent injuries that showed up weeks later, and my
smoking marijuana and eating. A black mother has to hide a camera in the hair of a child, autistic child, to show that they are abusing the child. Louisville mother says her nonverbal child, who could not articulate the abuse, was being abused at school and only discovered the abuse after hiding a camera inside of his hair. 7 years of age. Simaj Lee and his mother, Tiffany Lee, with the recording device she used. His parents said for months they received multiple calls and complaints about the child's behavior, which seemed unusual. Quote, as his mother, I knew in my heart something was not right, Ms. Lee said. Quote, I ordered a camera to be my son's eyes, his ears, his voice. She said, now that is a loving and dutiful mother who knows her child. Here's what she alleged. Over the past few months, I've been receiving calls from my son's school saying that he's been abusive toward teachers and abusive toward other students. Anyone who truly knows my child knows that that is not who he is. He is a sweet, loving boy. This behavior they were describing did not sit right with me. I asked the school multiple times if I could come sit in the classroom to observe, and I never received a proper response or the necessary paperwork to do so. This is a mother's intuition coupled with a few red flags. Okay? So there's this intuition. The intuition is then confirmed by their lack of response to correct or remedy the accusation. Well, let me sit here and observe, because my child doesn't act like that in front of me. I've never experienced this kind of behavior from my child, so let me sit in on that class in order to observe. That is a remedy. That remedy would work for everybody involved. Not only did they not allow the remedy, they did not provide the paperwork for her to become a present parent observer. Red flags. Now, 5/13/2026, May 13th, I sent my son to school with the camera hidden in his ponytail. It was not visible at all. Around 12 noon, I received a call from the principal stating that she noticed the camera while my son was in the sensory room, which usually means he was already upset. Okay? She told me it was against board rules and regulations, so I went to pick him up immediately. In the footage, here's the allegation. I heard teachers openly discussing smoking marijuana and eating weed brownies. Multiple teachers then, it got worse. The assistant teacher approached my son aggressively. While parts were not fully visible, the audio and partial footage tell the story. The tone of the teacher was vicious, it was abusive, filled with racism and hate. I will not repeat everything that was said. I will allow the footage to speak for itself, but I heard things no child should ever hear, especially not a nonverbal autistic child. Recordings obtained by the local news, WDRB, WLKY, and Wave 3 News reportedly showed the child sitting quietly until an individual, identified as his primary teacher, according to Wave 3 News, exits the classroom. Soon afterward, another staff member, identified by the outlet as an assistant, can allegedly be heard speaking aggressively to the child, saying phrases such as, "Get off me, boy." Also, "Get over here, go away." The camera footage shakes erratically. At one point, the assistant allegedly tells the child, quote, "I'm not playing with you no more," before later shouting, "Get out of here," which caused the 7-year-old to burst out yelling and crying, according to footage obtained by WDRB News. You have 3 separate news outlets who have confirmed the authenticity of the video. Now, you may be wondering, well, why don't we see the full video for everything? Keep in mind, even the shaking is an indication that the child is likely being physically accosted. But because of the placement of the camera, you may not see the individual who is shaking the child. Tiffany explained. There's more. Let me be very clear. My son stems. He is nonverbal and autistic. He is stemming. His stemming, includes clapping, especially when he is overwhelmed or agitated. In the footage, you can hear his clapping, then it stops. What follows are screams from my child, while this grown man is physically and verbally abusing him. At one point, you can hear a whisper that sounds like the N-word. What are you doing? Along with other hateful, degrading language directed at a child who cannot even speak for himself.
Okay, now, colorman lawyers, color federal lawyers, color federal judges, sit by me, bitch. So, autistic son it's deaf. So, his mother, awesome lady, put a hidden camera in his hair to privately observe what's wrong to her son. So then they started smoking cannabis and eating cannabis bars. So this is basically a lawsuit video. So watch this video and actually award the mother with $5 million. Okay? Let's watch more.
After reviewing the footage at home, Tiffany confronted staff about what she witnessed. Yes.
He's choking my son and calling him the N-word when the sir walks out the classroom. What? He's choking him, and that's why the kids are being crazy. Y'all let this happen to him. I beg y'all. Y'all call me every week and said he did something that he never done before. He was preaching him. He's never preached before. He was preaching him and choking him, calling him a stupid. And y'all let this happen. On the camera in his head. And he's not verbal. This is my baby. My child, and he will get justice.
When I first watched that video, what struck me was the lack of outrage from the professionals. The lack of outrage was appalling.
Justice is claimed. This video was graphic, an injury to the youth child. Okay, colorman lawyers, federal colorman lawyers, and colorman judges. I'll say that again. Federal colorman lawyers and federal colorman judges. Now we heard from executive legal assistant putting this jurisdiction of evidence to the criminal prosecution record board. But also, I am a criminal executive legal assistant. Thank you. Defending the population is what I live by and stand for. Thank you. Help the parent out. Thank you.